Right.
All right, cool. So hi to everybody again. It is the first Wednesday of the new year. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching wherever you might be. I'm super excited to bring guest Michael Tritthart in with us again. He's been here one other time, but I'm so glad to have him back. By the way, you're going to see on the screen right now, michaeltritthart.com. I'd highly encourage you to write that down and go peruse it later. Because there's lots of great resources and trainings that Michael offers throughout the year as well. And as you know, my main mission is just to make sure that as real estate entrepreneurs, you guys get exposed to all the best people out in the industry and find the people that resonate with you, that are teaching the things you need to learn so that you can actually get into execution, action, and make results happen in your business and your life. No better time to be focusing on that than the first week of the new year. So happy new year to all of you if you haven't been on a call with me yet this year. And thanks to all of you that are watching. So Michael, can you give a quick little intro to yourself again for those that don't know you?
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing too, Cari, as we go through this, if you would call out any of the comments in the chat, because Zoom is doing its Zoom thing again and not letting me get into the chat without me having to log out and do all that crazy stuff again. It happens about 3 times a year. So off to a great start with Zoom.
I love it. But, I can do that.
All right, thank you. So I've been training real estate agents and business owners now since 2001. I've got a ton of courses that I provide that you guys can see the full list here. And this is all underneath the workshops button on my website right here. So you can see the full list of all the courses that I provide. And then over here to the right-hand side, you also see all the classes that I provide. Many of them are going to be on site. So I'm going to be at the Georgia Association of Realtors next week doing some sessions, but they're also available via Zoom. So anybody and everybody, you guys can join those classes either in person or on site. I've got people that will fly from Pennsylvania down to Texas to attend the sessions because it's that powerful for them. So you guys can adjust that any way that you want. But I've been training pretty much all over North Texas. That's where it originally started back in 2001. And of course, it's expanded to North America, US, Canada, and everywhere. So this is the map of all of the locations that I've been training at since going back to 2008. And so again, my big focus is lead generation. It's social media marketing, it's web presence, it's how do I generate passive leads that can really become very successful leads. Google is a big part of that. Cari mentioned just a second ago that, used to be known as Google My Business. It's now the Google Business Profile page. That is a huge part. I actually just got a notification from one of my team members that we set their page up 2 weeks ago. They're already getting massive amounts of leads coming in off of that. And they're just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, especially this time of year to get this amount of leads coming in. This is just nuts. So we're going to touch on that today. But over the next hour, I'm going to give you a lot of different topics that we're going to focus on, because this is kind of the new year, the new market. We definitely are seeing a new market, a now what type situation. What do I need to be doing to generate some business in the quote unquote downtime? There's a lot of agents that took the holiday breaks off. There's a lot of very successful agents that did not. I mean, they of course a lot of time for friends and family and to be there for that, but they were still building and working on their business. And so I challenge all of you that's on this call, which kudos, number one, you're here, but number two, take action and move forward with that. So if you come over here and you click on the blog button right here on my website, here's a blog post that I did a couple weeks ago. And I think we might have talked about this on the previous call briefly. Facebook's gone in and made a lot of changes to Facebook listings in terms of your real estate listings and how those are going to show. And now it's going to be on the marketplace. They're really starting to phase out the business pages for real estate agents. And so that got me thinking, what do agents really need to be focusing on? Because I had a lot of agents that were panicking going, oh my gosh, that's been my bread and butter for years and years. And now they're making this massive change to it. What should I be focusing on? It really needs to be focusing on the things that you should have been doing all along, right? It's just that we start having success, we start getting busy, and we get away from the fundamentals. Now is a great time to get back to the fundamentals, especially in the beginning of a new year. You kind of clean slate, start over type situation, and really set those good habits in place. And so one of the things that you need to be doing is you need to be working your database. You need to be talking to your people. And I know everybody at EXP, you have a CRM and you have the ability to communicate with your people. but there's also a way to get a little bit more direct with your people. And this is a tried and true method. I've been doing this for years and years and years. And what you have is the ability to go out to Facebook and private message your people on Facebook. And the reason why I have Jennifer pulled up is Jennifer was in my classes. Well, actually, she was supposed to be in my classes in Memphis, Tennessee years ago. She couldn't be there as a brand new real estate agent because she had 9 closings in her first 45 days of real estate. Now, I don't know if anybody wants to comment on the chat and tell me what you had your first 45 days. I would almost bet it wasn't 9 closings though. You know, I had some people go, I had 9 phone calls that I made in 45 days. I didn't even have 9 leads. How in the heck did she get 9 closings? And she was supposed to be in my 2-day long class in Memphis. And the office manager was like, man, I hope she shows up. And, you know, told me the 9 days and 45 days. I'm like, yeah, I hope she shows up. I'm like, what the heck? How did she do that? And at the end of day 1, she shows up and the office manager spots her out the window, and it's like spotting a wild animal. He's like, oh, there she is. You know, we kind of pulled her in and we started talking to her, and she looked like an agent that had 9 closings in 45 days. Her hair was askew. She had paper falling out behind her. She had deer in headlight look. She was huffing and puffing as she was coming in. And she's like, I'm going over here and I got 9 closings. I don't even know what's going on. They're just writing me checks. It's crazy awesome. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? And I said, oh, how in the heck did you get 9 closings in 45 days? And she said, you know what? I'm gonna tell you my life story. I've got like literally 4 minutes to tell you before I go to another closing. So buckle up. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Grew up in Memphis, got married, moved to Chicago, had a baby, got a divorce, back to Memphis, 33 years old with my young daughter, living with my parents in the basement. And I realized that I wanted to be a realtor and I wanted to be somebody who controlled my own destiny. So I got my real estate license, but I realized very quickly that everybody that I thought I knew in Memphis, they've changed their name, their phone number, they've scattered, addresses, it's all gone. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm a single mom living with my parents with a young infant daughter. I have no money to market my business. So no money to market, no database. Other than that, business is great. That was her mindset. And she said, you know, everybody in this world that I know, they're on Facebook. Now, this is years ago. And this is not a Facebook technique. This can be expanded to Twitter. This can be expanded to Insta. This can be expanded to LinkedIn. You can do this on any platform. It's private messaging. But back then, Facebook was kind of the only thing. And she said, so what I realized is everybody's on social media. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to private message my people. And she made a commitment, write this down. She made a commitment to private message 10 people a day. And she actually set a timer on her phone. And she said, I got 30 minutes to do this. I'm going to message my people 10 minutes a day, or 10 people a day, 30 minutes. And basically my message is to Cari, hey, Cari, I haven't seen you since, you know, we grew up together, since we used to work together. We went to school together. We served in the military together. We went to church together. You were my boss. I was your boss. We were coworkers. We were cellmates. Whatever your walk of life is with that person. I hadn't seen you in forever. What's going on? How's life? That's all she would say. And from that, you would get their story. And I taught this a couple of years ago at a convention, and I asked somebody in the front row, and I said, tell me your name. I was going to make him the example. And he's like, Moses. And I went, perfect. You get the story of Moses, right? It's long and it's good. And you asked for it, right? So you get to learn about the cats and the dogs and the kids and the spouse and the house and the car and living the dream. And at the very end of it, what are they going to say back to Jennifer? Well, how are you? What's going on with you? And her script to them was, hey, I'm great. I'm back in Memphis now. I'm selling real estate. I own my own real estate business, and I own my destiny, which I love because I have a young infant daughter, and I want to be there for her as she grows up. And right now the market in Memphis is insanely busy. It's just crazy. It's nuts. People are moving in left and right. FedEx moving people everywhere. And from that, they would go, oh, hey, you know what? Actually, my brother works for FedEx. Told me he just got a salary a raise and a promotion, and he's got to move to the corporate office in downtown Memphis, and he wants to sell his place in Germantown. He was telling me he needs to look for a place. Can you help him? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And she ended up getting 2 deals from that, selling the place in Germantown, finding the place in downtown. And then she would get buyers and sellers and referrals because she private messaged 10 people a day. That was it. It's that simple. And I would put this link into the chat, but again, like I said at the very beginning, Zoom is being wonky for me. So maybe Cari, you can do this for me. But if you go out to michaeltritthart.com and you go to where it says sites for your business, lead capture and generation, I've got a ton of resources, which by the way, the sites for your business page, you guys can go to town on that. Any and every one of these links, you guys can open them up and use them. And the vast majority of them are free. And this link right here, Cari, it says Facebook lead generation tactic. This is where it talks about Jennifer, but I was training, and this is not Jennifer. This is another lady I call Jessica. That's her name. And so my techniques, I call them the Jennifer way and the Jessica way, right? Very technical terms. But I was training Jessica about Jennifer. And I'm a former North Texas, Texas high school football coach. Did that for 6 years. Friday Night Lights, it's real, it's crazy, it's insane. I did it for 6 years. So I can spot a high D personality from a mile away. Jessica's one of those high D personalities. I'm starting to train her about Jennifer and private messaging her people. And she goes, stop, time out. And I'm like, oh, okay, timing out the instructor. High D personality, here we go. She goes, okay, I hear what you're saying about Jennifer and asking about their feelings and all that other type of stuff. That's cool for her, but I'm just gonna be honest, I don't give a crap about the feelings. I mean, she was that straightforward. I'm a single mom as well. I'm trying to put food on the table. I'm trying to get business. So I'm going to be a little bit more direct. I'm going to be a little bit more like in your face with my messaging. Plus, I'm not going to do 10 a day. That's weak. I'm going to do 40 messages a day. And I'm like, oh, okay. So she made the commitment. She's going to private message 40 messages a day. Now, her message at the time, she was with Keller Williams, and her message was a very strong, bold script, which I think if you've ever been in the Keller Williams world, you know what we're talking about. But you can use any script you want, and you can, of course, substitute however you want. I mean, you can still use the same script and put EXP in there. But she basically started it off with, hey, Laura, long time no see. It's a former babysitter. My daughter was mentioning you the other day. I hope you're doing well. Hey, I got a quick question for you. You may see that I now work for EXP, and I'm in a work competition of sorts. It's a new year, new start. You know me, I want to win. Who do you know from work, from church, from school, from whatever their walk of life that may be interested in buying, selling, investing, etc. And when you go in and you ask somebody, who do you know? That is the most powerful question you can ask any business professional. I'm not putting Cari on the spot. I'm saying, Cari, do you want to buy? Do you want to sell? I'm saying, Cari, I value your expertise, your knowledge. Who do you know that I should be talking with, right? Again, it opens up so many opportunities and so many doors. She did that. She did 40 messages a day. At the end of the year, she was #1 rookie of the year in her office, a very high-powered office in North Texas. She was #3 in production. And every single dime that she made that year came from this technique. The only money she spent was on her actual listings. She spent zero on any other marketing pieces for her specifically. So it is something that if you're consistent with it, you're going to have tremendous value coming from it. And I asked her a couple of years after doing it, because she was still doing it. I said, so what's the biggest aha that you've learned over the years? And she said, well, for me, the biggest thing was it was an opportunity for me to stay in communication with my people. But I realized my people were not ready at the time. Like they hadn't gotten the job promotion, they hadn't retired, the kids hadn't gone off to school yet, they hadn't become empty nesters, whatever the case may be. Now that I stay in communication with them on a regular basis, now I see that life is catching up with them. But because I'm in communication with them, I am the go-to. I am their agent. And so it's a huge opportunity. Again, I want to stress, it's not a Facebook thing, it's a private messaging thing. So whatever platform that you're on, this can be successful. I've got somebody on that has done the same similar type technique on LinkedIn and has generated over 36 leads, 36 active clients in less than 3 weeks from doing the same techniques. So whatever platform you're on with private messaging, this can be pretty powerful.
So I want to just really quickly, I think it's just a very good reminder, because it's not something that's like mind blowing. Like I would have never thought of that, but how many of you actually do it on a consistent basis, regularly? That's the key, is that they committed to doing it and doing it consistently. And I think when you just come from a place of your own personality, because you heard two stories of how two people did it very differently because it was in alignment with their personality.
Right.
It felt comfortable to them. And people who know you know if you're being true to your personality or not, if they've known you at any capacity. And this should be just the start of you getting back into relationship with these people and reconnecting with them and making it purposeful, because now that you've done it once and you're hearing about what's going on in their life and you're sharing what's going on in yours, which is probably the more common way that this conversation starts. And then, being direct and asking, who do they know, if you feel comfortable and that's your personality. In addition to that, it should now get you in a habit where you're messaging people just to check in and continue building that relationship, because you're doing 10 or 15 or 40 or whatever you're doing a day. That this should not just be like, I'm going to do it and then forget about it. No, this is something that I just put in my calendar and I do it every day, because real estate is a contact sport, and social media gives us an opportunity to be in contact with more people every single day. How many networking events and coffee appointments would you have to go to? It'd be impossible. And so social media is really powerful for what it can be used if we do it in the right way. And it's to start the relationships and then to maintain those. So what an easy thing for you all to commit to. Even if it was 5 a day, you got to pick something and you got to do it every day. So I love this. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know about all of these resources on your website, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah. If you go to Sites for Your Business, I actually teach like the 7 ways to improve your business class that I'm doing. We go through a lot of these different links. So there's 7 links. That's why that class is called 7 Ways. And so you can go down through here on any of these. And I've got a ton of resource links that you guys can use. And these are all links that I've picked up over the years, things that I found, things that people in my classes have shared with me. Like, hey, do you know about this? I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. I'm always radar up looking for sites and services that I can share with real estate and business professionals that are going to help to improve their business. And to kind of touch on and put a bow on what we just talked about with the private messaging, Cari mentioned it. You got to put it on your calendar. You got to time block it, but more importantly, you got to time protect it. Because I cannot tell you how many times I go out and I do a class and I say, hey, has anybody ever done private messaging? And tons of hands raise their hand. Like, oh yeah. I said, did you get business from it? And they're like, absolutely. Are you still doing it? No. And it's like, why? Hey, I don't know. I just got busy. I just got away from it. Time block it. Time protect it, because it's going to be that constant source for you, especially as the market has shifted. We need to get in and working with our people. And this is going to be another topic that we talk about here shortly, is we got to go find our tribe. We got to go find our niche. And we can find that in a lot of different ways. But the best niche of all is your database. Work your database. And if you just consistently work and communicate and build and foster relationships within that database, you're going to see tons of business coming in. So that's one element. Now let's switch over to another one. I'm gonna pick on Cari because I know she can take it, right? So if I come over here and I do a Google search for Cari, I want to show you the difference between what you see for me and Cari. And I want to show you that you have huge opportunities. So let's say that I meet Cari at a training session, an open house, Starbucks, whatever the case may be. She tells me she's a real estate agent. What do a lot of the consumers go out and do? They go out in the Google search. They want to see, oh, she was nice. Let's see if this is somebody that we want to work with. Well, the very first thing that you want to do as a real estate agent is you want to make sure that you can control the results, that these results come up for you. And you can see right here, the very first link that comes up for Cari is LinkedIn, and then Instagram and Facebook, that's her. But then we start to see some other stuff that's out of date. It's not current with her, right? So we want to go in and we want to make sure that we're spending time and effort to control our message. Now, if I'm sharing this with agents in Texas, let's just say that Cari was licensed in Texas. If I would have pulled her page up, I guarantee you one of the first or second, maybe even third links on this page is going to be HAR, Houston Association of Realtors. Even if you are not licensed and in Houston and associated with HAR, HAR's got a page on you. And all the Texas agents go, what the heck? And I go, well, look at it. That's what Zillow's doing to you. That's what Realtor.com's doing to you. And now here in Texas with HAR, that's what they're doing to you. they're creating a page on their network, which number one helps their network. They do this for every licensed agent in Texas. They're creating a page that if somebody goes to and clicks on that and a lead is generated from that page, it's going to go to HAR. Do you think that lead's going to go to you? And they're like, no, of course not. The same thing's happening with Zillow. The same thing's happening with Realtor.com and any of these other big box sites that are out there. We got to control our messaging. Now, I'm going to show you a couple techniques on how to do that. But one of the other ways, and it's a big way, and we've talked about this, and we can come back and do like a round 2 class with this, but I also offer this type of training over here on all these classes that you guys can attend. We got to go in and make sure that our Google business profile page is set up. Because if I'm on a desktop, laptop, whatever the case may be, it's going to be off there to the right. If I'm on a mobile device, this block that I see on the right is going to be the first thing on the mobile device for like the first 3 or 4 scrolls. So I'm controlling my messaging. Now, again, not trying to, embarrass Cari, but if you look at the links over here, she doesn't really control those because that's LinkedIn technically. It is her page, and Instagram, it is her page, but it's still not her, right? If I come over here, look what you see on the left-hand side for me. MichaelTrithart.com, which is my site. MichaelTrithart.com, MichaelTrithart.com. We can go on and on and on and on and on. And I got a lot of that control in the very, very beginning of the page. Notice too that I have a 5-star rating showing up throughout there, right? And everybody goes, well, whoa, wait a minute, how the heck did you get that? Well, number one, it all originates from your Google business profile page. You got to get your reviews, got to get them, right? And you got to continually get them. So feed the machine. Now, something that my website design company has been able to do, let me back up a little bit here. So we got the sites for your business link on my site. We've got all the training that we provide, but one of the other things that I own is a website design company, social media company. And the lead designer, his name is Jordan, and he's a designer and a developer. He developed a platform that we provide to all business owners, not just real estate, all business owners, where somebody could come over and write reviews from your website. Now, everybody goes, okay, so what's the big deal on that? I've got these third-party sites that people can write reviews, and it kind of aggregates them and collects them. Well, here's kind of the wow factor. For this widget, which by the way, we can add to pretty much any website that's out there, your EXP site, a third-party site, ClickFunnels.com website, a Wix, we can put that on there. Basically, what you see right here, anybody could come over to this page and write a review for me on Google, on Facebook, or on Zillow. Now, if they come over and they write a review on Zillow, they can hit the button, write the review, go to Zillow, write that review, be done, and it's going to count over here. So this is the Bayou Home Team. They got 3 reviews on Zillow. They got 3 on Facebook. They got some on Google. These 3 sites will total up 27 reviews. They'll total up 27 reviews. And then you'll see that number will then get indexed to Google. So for me, I've got the same element on my site. Let me go back and show you. So if I come over here and I go to my page, there's my business partner, Jeff. But if I go to client testimonials, there's my map. Here's where they write reviews for me. Now, I only choose Google because I know the power of Google. And I'm like, I don't want anything else but Google. So write your reviews here. But this widget, it does take some time to do it. It's not overnight. It will then eventually start to index to Google, and you will start to see the star ratings show up in those search results, which is huge, huge. Google is the number one, in my opinion, is the number one thing that every single real estate agent should be doing, and specifically the Google business profile page. Feed it with reviews, feed it with photographs, feed it with content, and don't just set it up and forget about it, but continually feed it, and you will see a massive change in your business. And that little widget, like we said, can be added to pretty much any site that's out there. And it's a service that we provide. It's right here called the Google Map and Review Widget Bundle. It's underneath services. It's a one-time fee. It's $30 a month. Now everybody goes, well, wait a minute, what's the $30 a month cover? Well, it covers the security updates, the plugins, marketing pieces, everything else. But more importantly, it also covers the pins on the map. So what the pins on the map that you're seeing, those are your buyers and your sellers. And you could come over and showcase before you even go out for a listing. Hey, you want to sell your house in the North Shore? You're talking to the right team. Buy Your Home team. Here's all the homes that we've sold on North Shore. They look at that and go, wow, that's a lot of pins. And North Shore goes, or Buy Your Home team goes, I know, right? Yeah, so here's the listing agreement. Just sign right there. We'll make you a pin in about 30 days. We will go in and we'll update those pins on a monthly or quarterly basis for you. You just give us a spreadsheet. We show you how to do it. It's very simple. And we can go in and plug that in. Now, I can't see the chat because Zoom is messing up, but I'm going to ask this question. You guys can type this into the chat. Who has been in real estate the longest? What year did you start? Type that into chat. Cari, help me monitor that.
Okay, we have 2001, 2020, 2016, 2017.
Who's our winner? Who's done it?
So far me, but I know there are others that have been in here longer than me.
Besides you, who's a winner?
I would say Becky's been here since like 1999. I know Patricia. I wonder how long Patricia. Oh, John Fitzgerald, 99. Oh, Becky, 97. I think Patricia's been in for a long time too, if I remember correctly. So maybe we've got Becky as the winner and John as the second place if we're not counting me. Well, actually, they would be anyways. I'd be third.
Let's go with John because I've been coaching for the last 3 to 4 years. So I haven't really been active in real estate.
Okay.
Let's go with John, who's been in since 99.
So John, you've been selling some houses here and there, right? And here's an example of somebody else who's done that as well. This is somebody who focused on a very specific neighborhood. She went to one of my classes, a class that I did on Google My Maps. And I showed her that you and John and everybody else, you could go out to your MLS and you'll have to get the instructions from MLS because every MLS is different. But you could go out, get the instructions from your MLS of how to pull your history from MLS on the buy side and the sell side, put it into a spreadsheet. And this is a luxury agent who did this map. And again, I'm not trying to stereotype, but she was a little bit older luxury agent. So technology was not her cup of tea. And she comes into the workshop and she's kind of like, I don't think I can do this. Like giving me that look like I don't know. And about halfway through, you can see the light bulb come on and she's like, oh, I think I can do this. And then 2 days after the class, she sent me this link and go, this is awesome. I cannot believe I did this. Here's all the homes that I've ever sold on the buy side and the sell side. I always tell everybody, I am the Peninsula on Indian River Bay expert here in Delaware, but now I can show them. And she's been in there since the home builders were there selling the model homes, right? She can show them, I know this market. These homes 2-3 years ago, they were selling at 2.5, 3 million. So now, imagine what the market is now. I'm sure it's 5, 6, something like that. But she can go in and say, look, I am the Peninsula on the Indian River Bay expert, much like what the Bayou Home team can do. So what we've done, what my developer has done is taken the reviews and the mapping and combined it into one widget that can then be added to any site that's out there, which is truly powerful. And the fact that it will also index on the star, and put the stars out on the search results, that's huge as well too. So questions, let's throw those up there.
Yeah. John Fitzgerald here.
Yep.
I guess I'm the winner. I've been here the longest.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, exactly.
I'm the oldest. Hold on, let me turn my video back on. I got to be real transparent here. I am multitasking, and I went on the website, bookmarked it. I'm like, okay, I'm buying what this guy's selling right now. And then all of a sudden you went, wah, and you showed me this Google thing, and I got to have it. So, because I got a really unique situation where, because I was the broker in charge for several builders, I've got almost 900
Oh,
lifetime sales
yeah.
Mhm.
in MLS.
Yeah.
So where do
And
I go to learn how to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna show
I'm a
you.
buyer.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Guys,
show you how to
you're
get
on this
that.
call, you be a buyer. I'm a buyer.
Yeah, and the reason why I was doing this is I was trying to look down through here and find one that we had where pretty much somebody created a map, and I cannot find it for the life of me. I think I have it saved on my laptop. I'm on my desktop, but he pretty much created a map with all the pins, and he's same situation. He was a broker. You can't even see Philadelphia. It's covered in pins. Like it's like, mass casualties in Philadelphia. It just got it all covered. It's crazy. When people see that and go, holy moly, I got to have that. So what you need to do, John, what everybody needs to do is just go out to michaeltritthart.com, services. And when you go to services, you will see the Google Map and Review widget bundle right here. Now, everybody, in my opinion, should have that because it's going to show your pins. Now, let's say that you're not in John's situation. You're fairly new. Like you've only been in real estate for a year. And you go, I would just like to have one pin on the map, maybe two, maybe a half a pin. Like, how would this benefit me? Well, you could go in and pull at your MLS level all of the broker pins, all the broker transactions, right? So even as a new agent, I could go in and say, let me have all of EXP's transactions on the buy side and on the sell side. Let me pop those on my map. And then when I go out and talk to a client and say, hey, look, you're talking to an expert. This is the brokerage I'm associated with. Here's all the homes we've sold in the area. This is why you need to work with me. So this is applicable in a lot of different situations. Now, John, that is a widget,
Sorry.
I think, that you definitely need, right? And many need. But I will say this as well, too. One of the other things that I would suggest that you start with, and everybody starts with, is what we call the online success review, which is going to lead us into our next topic. The online success review, that is a conversation with my business partner, and you can see him right there. That's Jeff Kale. Jeff is a real estate agent. He's also the former IT director for Petco, and he did that for 13 years. And so I always tell everybody, if you want to get to the first page of Google and you want to generate more leads, you need to have this conversation with Jeff. Now, this is not a sales conversation. This is what we call the online success package. This is what we say, Jeff's going to go out and create your online blueprint. He's going to talk to you and he's going to say, John, what's your goal online? What do you want to achieve? Do you want to get on the first page of a certain search, or do you want to have your Google page set up? Like what do you want? From that conversation, he's going to create your online blueprint for success. Basically, like, if you do this, this will happen. Now, the blueprint can be done by you. It can be done by your 12-year-old IT genius. It can be done by somebody on your team. It can be done by your web designer. It can be done by us. It's up to you. He's going to create that blueprint. Now, part of that blueprint could include, hey, I need the widget. I need some of these other features and services that you offer, like the home value page. And if you say, well, I want all these different elements, one of the things that Jeff can do is he can go out and he can bundle those and reduce some costs. Now, everybody goes, okay, so what's the benefit of this? How would this help me? Well, here's a prime example. So here is Lake Oconee Home Values. Lake Oconee is in Georgia. Trained a lot of agents that work that area. And I had an agent who actually came to the Georgia Association of Realtors a couple of years ago and saw the presentation I did on Google. Actually, her husband did. And the husband's like, hey, Jennifer, you need to talk to Michael and his team. And Jennifer in the beginning was like, I don't want to talk to them. I've been burned so many times by real estate agents, or not real estate agents, but website design teams. No, I'm not talking. She finally got convinced to do an online success review with Jeff. Jeff determined that her goal was Lake Oconee Home Values. She's never been on the first page of that. She wants to be on the first page of that. And with the site that we were able to create, with the techniques that Jeff knows and has done for years, did it with Petco, now he does it in the real estate world. She's on the first page. And when you come over here and you notice this, here's a couple other little things too. Sometimes the stars will show up if we're focused on your reviews, but then also notice that we have little sub searches. People also search for this, they search for that. So when I'm looking as a consumer, notice that Jennifer's page, her blog just kind of pops more than everybody else. Those are some of the things that we're able to put in there that other designers and developers don't do. It's the little things that we focus on. But she's on the first page. It's an interior page off of her site. She's generating leads now off the Lake Oconee page. She's never generated leads online. She's referred us 3 other agents to say, hey, work with them in these other areas. This is somebody who did not want to go down this path because she's been burned on this path. But it's one of those things that we take pride in. Is we don't just build a site, we build results. Jeff, I'll give you this too. My business partner, Jeff, let me say, sell your, I can't type and talk at the same time, so hold on. Sell your San Diego home yourself. So Jeff has been a lifelong Californian up until November of 2021. He moved to Honolulu because it's cheaper to live in Honolulu than it is Carlsbad, California. And I don't know if there's any California agents on here that can testify to that, but Jeff was like, kind of crazy, I'm going to Honolulu. He kept his website for San Diego. And if I do a search for sell your San Diego home yourself, it pulls up 187 million search results. The first 2 are ads, and they're paying big bucks to be there. The first non-ad website is Jeff's website, one of our sites. And everybody right now goes, oh, wait a minute, time out. Why is he selling, FSBOs? And we're like, no, he's not selling FSBOs. He's selling pain. Oh, you want to do it yourself? Okay, feel free. Here you go. Here's the 5 reasons. Bottom line, you're probably going to need some marketing assistance. And oh yeah, notice in the bottom left-hand corner, he's got the 5-star Google rating popping up. So that's another one of those elements that we put on there as well too. People can click on that and go out and see the 5 stars. He generates about 2 to 3 seller leads a week from this website that he then refers out to agents that he knows, likes, and trusts in the San Diego area. And then he just collects the referral check from the beach in Waikiki, which, by the way, that's the right business plan. We're not all following the right business plan. If you can sit on the beach and collect your checks, that's a pretty good plan. And that's just 2 examples of what we can do from an SEO point of view, from an online presence point of view, that I think is definitely going to help you to build and grow your business. So questions on that before we move on? John, I think I answered yours, but just to make sure that you understand, you could go right here to the Google Map and review widget bundle, which is underneath services. But I would suggest starting with the online success review, because then that way we can take a full deep dive look at your online presence, determine what's going to be the best fit for you in addition to the map and widget bundle, and see what we can do to help you with that. Does that make sense? Okay, good deal. Cari, any other questions coming in on the chat? Okay. All right. So what's that? I'm sorry.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys have questions, you can unmute, you can put them in chat. If it's something that we're talking about, mention it. If it's something that we're not talking about, bring that up as well too. We've got about 19 minutes. So I'm going to go in, we're going to talk about some other topics here, and then we'll leave some time for some Q&A at the end. So we mentioned earlier that especially new year, a new market, the market has definitely shifted, that getting into your niche, getting into your database is a big thing, right? So database is huge, but there's other niche opportunities that are out there. And that's what we're going to talk about because that market has shifted. There was a lady, bless her heart. That's a Texas thing. Bless her heart. She came to my class last year, new agent, very nice lady. And within 2 weeks of that class, the market shifted, and it shifted on a dime, like it was done, right? And she calls me and she's in a panic. And I answer and I'm like, what's going on? How can I help you? Hey, Michael, I need your help. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? I got a listing. And I was like, is this a trick question? I mean, congratulations. What do you want me to say? She's like, what do I do? And in my mind, I went, oh my goodness, bless her heart and bless her broker's heart. She's a brand new agent. They never trained her on what to do when the market shifts. She'd been in the market, especially in Texas, where all you had to do is just put the sign in the yard, get multiple offers, and then work those offers. Like she was a waitress taking orders at a restaurant. That market's gone. And she's like, what do I do? And it kind of stunned me. I'm like, what do you mean, what do you do? Well, how do I promote my listing? How do I do this? And I was like, whoa, we got to go back to the basics. So again, it's that mindset of don't forget the fundamentals, right? Put the fun back in fundamentals. And one of those elements is to get into your niche topics. Database is a big one, but here's one that's coming back. And some people, when they see this, they're like, oh man, this one's coming back. Oh, geez, I don't know if I want to do this. CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert. Now, the good thing about CDPE is it's underneath new ownership. So Tony Martinez, there's Tony right there. He is the master instructor for CDPE and has really solidified the whole process. This is working with people to help avoid foreclosures, short sales, other opportunities that are down there. So if you guys go out to cdpe.com, every single one of you can go out and obtain your designation. So right here it says become a CDPE. And when you become a CDPE, you're going to get a badge that you can show. You're going to get some marketing pieces that you can show. Basically, you're going to start to position yourself as an expert within that niche. Now, one of the things that my team has done, along with another marketing team, is we've gone in and helped to make it better for CDPE Advanced. So if you go out to cdpeadvanced.com, what we have created are websites, marketing pieces, basically all of these bundled items that are very focused on this niche. So instead of you having to go out on your own and try to figure out how to do CDPE and create all the marketing pieces, they're all there. So you would basically log into the back office and you have access to all your marketing pieces. You have access to a website. Now, the beauty of the website is we've taken what we have done with all of our other sites and implemented it into the CDPE. And so again, with just a little bit of coaching, just a little bit of work, if I come over here and do a search for save your Hawaii home, that pulls up 258 million search results, which, by the way, if you don't think the foreclosure wave's coming again, all you got to do is just look at the results that come up when somebody searches for save your Hawaii home. It's coming, right? Whether we like it or not, we're going to see some foreclosures uptick. Now, is it going to be like 2008 and 9 and 10? I don't think so, but it's still going to be pretty bad for certain areas. And so when I was talking to Tony about that, I said, okay, how bad is it going to be? And he said 2008, 9, and 10, imagine it being like a 100-foot tsunami. We're going to see about a 50 to 60 footer. But he goes, if you're in a market that's affected, doesn't matter if it's 60 foot or 100 foot, it's going to get hit hard. And so what you see here, though, is one of our websites in action. So Save Your Hawaii Home, we're in the first spot. And when I click on that, this is actually our foreclosure site. Notice how fast it loads. It's mobile responsive. We build everything mobile first. And if I scroll down through here, it's basically saying foreclosure is not your only option. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Jeff's website since he's in Hawaii. So he's collecting all of these leads and referring them out to other CDPE members. But that is what that's all about. And we include the hooks, the ebook that somebody fills this form in, you get a lead off of. So we've got multiple lead hooks that are on this page. So that's a niche that is a very big niche, and it's going to grow larger and larger in 23 and 24. So get ahead of the wave that's coming. Get ahead of that curve. Take a look at CDPE, and some of you on here may have been CDPE members back in the day. It's a huge opportunity for you to get back into this specific niche. Now, there's tons of other niches that are out there, and one that we are in the process of redoing for them is MillRes. So this is not our website, but we are going to load up and probably have the brand new MilRes website ready for show by February 1st. So if you guys go out to gomilres.com within the next month or so, you're going to see a vastly updated new look to MilRes. This is a niche that's going to be bigger than CDPE. And another way of saying niche is safe harbor. Safe harbor your business. 23 and 24, it's going to be a storm. And there's a lot of real estate agents, quite honestly, that just don't have the fortitude to withstand the storm. And whenever there's a storm, what do you do with your boat? You safe harbor, right? MilRes is going to be one of the biggest safe harbors out there. What it is, it's a program that you guys can go out and get the MilRes designation. And that is where you can go out and you can have the MilRes designation to help active duty military and veterans. That market is always going to be there. Now, the gentleman who's running MilRes is Buddy West. And much like what we did with Tony and CDPE, we are in the process of doing the same exact thing for MilRes, but even bigger because it's a bigger program. So everybody who becomes MilRes, they're going to gain access to certain tools. And then everybody who joins MilRes Advanced, much like CDPE Advanced, they're going to get one of the MilRes websites. They're going to get all these military marketing pieces that they can use. I mean, this is going to be huge. We've got some people that say, this isn't a niche for me. This is my business. This is how I've grown it throughout the years. That's how big MilRes is going to be. And there's others that we're working on as well too. So it doesn't have to be a niche that we're working on. I just challenge you guys to think smarter about your business, find those safe harbors. And it could be something that's broker specific as well too. I know there's a lot of broker specific programs out there where people are going in and saying, I'm going to get this designation, or I already have it, and I'm really going to focus on this versus trying to just find, the Jane Doe and the John Doe buyers and sellers out there and get into scramble mode. I'm going to actually work smarter in my business and be very focused in that element.
Yeah, well, the more focused you are and the more you promote a niche, the easier you're found amongst the sea of realtors. And even though you won't do the majority of your business always through that niche, it's the idea that you have something that you're promoting that makes you different, that is recognizable. Don't forget, speaking of these designations, as I have so many of you, and I think most of you are within EXP, now we have Revenos, which is all of our designations. The iBuyer designation has a new short-term rental designation coming that gives referrals out. We have relocation, we have REO, we have Affinity Plus, we have the military, we have all of that. And many people are doubling down, getting those designations, getting leads, and getting referrals inter-network because of our ability to do that within workplace at such a high level. So if you haven't gotten those designations that you thought of, this would be a time. By the way, it's still all free within EXP at this time. So there's a lot of information sessions going out there about Revenos, which is the collaboration and the conglomeration of all of these things for all of the EXP agents. But I also have him coming on the very last Wednesday of this month. I believe it's like the 24th or 25th. So don't miss that. Mark it on your calendar, because what Michael is saying from a branding and marketing expert is absolutely true. You've got to use those. Look, investors are going to be out there. People that, are moving, relocating are going to be out there. The military is going to be moving and PCSing. All of those things are still happening. And when we can be experts and we can go find that business, then our business doesn't change, even though the market does. We're just going and pivoting towards what is available to us. So those designations are very, very important. And then the marketing you put behind it, which is all of this stuff that Michael's talking to you about, is now you have all of these designations. Now you have all of these certifications, and you can get out there and talk about it, blog about it, post about it, and become known for it. That's just such great advice that Michael's giving us. And I would highly encourage you to put that on your plan if you haven't for the new year.
Yeah. Always take advantage of what your broker's providing to you first and foremost. Right. And then get those designations. And if there's additional items that you guys can do, then by all means do so. Now, to take that mindset even further, here's somebody who has been coming to my classes for years and years. She built this years ago. And if you go out and do a search for patio homes, Plano, Texas, patio homes, some of you in this area, you're like, in your area, like, what the heck is a patio home? Right? Oh, what is that? Right? Zero lot line, garden home. That's something that's big in the Dallas area. It's basically what we call McMansions, 5,000 square foot home, no yard, right? And people go, oh, I don't want that. But then there's other people who go, yeah, I want that. So they'll go out and they'll search for that. 4 million search results come up. You can see Realtor.com's on the homepage, Zillow's on the homepage, Big Dogs are on the homepage. And then here's Princell Sells DFW. This is Barbara Princell. She built this years ago. This still today, I give her a hard time, is one of the ugliest websites I've ever seen, right? And I mess with her. I'm like, oh, it's so ugly. We did not build this one, right? But she did it herself. But she listened to me. Notice that when your links, when you hyperlink something, don't say click here. Because Google goes, oh my gosh, I've only seen a hyperlink click here for like what, 7 billion trillion times on the internet. So she has patio homes for sale in Kings Lake subdivision, right? She goes out and describes each one of these links and is very thorough in that description, not just with what you say here, but also in the tags and everything else. That's why she's on the first page. Now, everybody goes, well, why would you focus only on patio homes and 0 lot lines? Well, I asked her that a couple of years ago, and she goes, well, let me explain my business to you. 90% of the leads that I get come in off the internet, off people doing these searches. Less than 10% of the business that I close is actually somebody who ends up buying a patio home, right? They think that's what they want. Then they see it and go, oh, I don't want that. And I go, well, has business been pretty successful for you? She goes, well, let me put it this way. Every January, I take my team for 21 days to Maui for a vacation. I'm like, oh, business is good. She's like, business is pretty good, right? So focusing on your niche, you know, there's riches in the niches, whatever that niche is going to be. Is it patio homes? Is it sell your San Diego home yourself? Is it everything that EXP provides to you from a designation point of view? Is it MilRes, CDPE, whatever that is? That's huge. Right? Find that niche. And then the final thing that we're going to talk about is a networking niche. How many of you comment in the chat, and Cari, just tell me if we have a bunch of people saying yes or a bunch of people saying no, but comment yes if you're in a networking group. Comment no if you're not. What are we seeing?
So far, multiple no's.
Okay. So huge opportunity. Get in a networking group. I am a member of Master Networks. Now, I'm not saying you have to join Master Networks. It'd be cool if you did. No, I'm joking. But we're in 18 states, right? And we're rapidly growing. We have 126 chapters in 18 states. With Master Networks, what that means is you would have an exclusive seat. You would be the only residential real estate agent in that chapter. You would only have one plumber in that chapter. You would only have home mortgage, one person in that chapter. And it's not limited to the real estate world. You can have all different business verticals that are in there. So a lot of the business relationships and personal friendships that I have over the past couple of years have come from Master Networks. My wife loves Master Networks because now we have a carpet company, we got a handyman, we got all this stuff. It's like, you know, she goes out and watches all the shows on, what's that? Oh, I just went blank. Help me out, Cari. What's the show where everybody thinks they can flip a house in 30 minutes?
I don't watch those, but I know what you're talking about. Probably HGTV stuff.
Yeah, HGTV. Thank you. I just totally blanked on HGTV. She watches all that stuff and goes, oh, I want to do that. You got somebody that can do that? I'm like, yeah, I got somebody that can do that, right? So it's cost me some money being part of Master Network, so I'll put it that way, but the house looks great. And the biggest thing though is you build these business relationships. And from a real estate point of view, the chapter president for me, I have the website design seat, but the chapter president in our chapter is a real estate agent. Well, in 2019, we had an ice storm that hit North Texas, and it got down for like 3 days in a row to like -8. And that's not cool in North Texas. We don't like that. And our pipes didn't like that. And a bunch of the pipes busted. And we kept the power on at our house, but our chapter president, she lost power, came back after 3 days to a waterfall. The water heaters upstairs had busted and they were literally pouring the water out the front door. She steps out, makes 3 phone calls to home remediation, to plumber, to electrician. And in the middle of an ice storm, these 3 gentlemen showed up to help her within an hour, because you know, like, and trust these people. These are your friends. These are your business relationships. They were there taking care of her. She spent the rest of 2019 as a real estate agent, living in a Holiday Inn with her family of 4, trying to run her business. That was the year that nobody could get a listing. She got 20 listings from our chapter because she was the agent. And whenever they would go out and have a conversation and somebody mentions real estate, they'd go, oh, I got an agent for you. You need to talk to so-and-so. You need to talk to her, right? And so it's huge. It's huge for your business. Get into a networking group, because it's also going to open up so many other opportunities for your business. Everything that's good that has happened in my business since 2018 has happened because of networking, has happened because of Master Networks. You start getting into the right rooms with the right people. Don't be a solopreneur, be an entrepreneur, and go find those other entrepreneurs that are out there. And masternetworks.com is a great way to do that. But any of the networking groups that are out there is a great way to do that as well too. So I think we're right at the time.
We have a couple other people. I know that Patricia and Ginny just started one, Am Spirit, and they love it, and they have their own chapter. So this is going to be a good piece of their business. But I think that's good advice. If you aren't in some sort of networking, you can create your own too. If you're already super connected, just say, hey, let's meet once every couple of weeks or every month, you know?
Right.
I think that that's a big deal.
The one benefit I will say of Master Networks, what makes us different, the training and development, all the training is provided for you. So the hardest part about starting a networking group is, oh my gosh, what do I say? What do we do each week? Well, that's all done for you with Master Networks. So it makes it really easy.
Yeah.
So guys, hopefully we're able to pick up some nuggets from here. And Cari, if it's okay with you, since the chat wasn't working for me, I'll compile some of these links, send them to you.
Okay, perfect. And then I'll copy and I'll copy and paste everything. Terry, I was wondering what you were messaging us. Terry's keyboard went, like his notebook went, and he has a whole bunch of stuff in the chat that made no sense, just so you know, Michael. So what I'll do is I'll get everything from Michael, and I'll go ahead and copy it, and I'll put it on. And there is a question really quick, if you have 1 second. Michael, from Jason. Jason, unmute yourself for sure. But I will go ahead and take that and put that under live stream. Okay. Hey, Jason. Hey, Jason.
Yep. Cool. Hey, Michael. Oddly enough, we met a decade ago at KW, which when I started to see you show up here, I was like, whoa, Michael. So my fiance and I have run 2 separate businesses for a long time, and now we're putting the powers together. So we each have these websites, and we each have all these past sales, and we started, when you did the last Google My Business call, we started to do this individually, and then it was like a hard stop. Why are we going to do this separately if we're going to end up doing it together? Right. So now it's together. So like we're able to compile all of that data into one spot. And like what do you recommend other than success coaching immediately?
Okay, so you're saying you're combining 2 real estate businesses together, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's good. And I'm getting some feedback. So if you could mute for a second, Jason. All right. And so what I would suggest that you do is continue down that path of your Google business profile page, getting that set up, feed the machine. And what I mean by that is get reviews, get photos. 150 equals 1,000. I think we mentioned that on the last call. 150 photographs equals a 1,000% increase in engagement. So just feed that monster, right? In addition to that, what I would suggest that you do is do the online success review with us. Start there, because that's where you would sit down with Jeff. We could take a look at your online presence, the systems that you have in place now, the goals that you want, and then we can get you aligned with the online blueprint for success, and give you that path, that plan that you guys can take and run with, or somebody else can do it for you. We can help you with all of it, certain parts of it, whatever the case may be. It's very flexible in terms of how you implement it. But the biggest thing is to have that plan instead of just kind of freewheeling and shooting from the hip and hoping that we kind of let it stick. This is the best path of action for a lot of agents out there, because now they know exactly what they need to be focusing on. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Any
I
other
think
questions?
I think it's well worth it to just do the $99. If you're feeling a little bit lost, just at least get the plan. Then if you've got an admin and you've got some people that can execute, great. You don't have to necessarily, spend thousands of dollars to have somebody else do it. But for
Yes.
a lot of us, and me included, it's a bit overwhelming to know, like, well, what would the top priorities be? Google My Business. You guys, as you just heard, adding 150 photos, don't add them all at once. That's not a good plan from what I've heard, Michael. But having a plan around adding that and growing your presence on Google My Business alone can make such a difference. And then you look at some of these maps and these widgets that really aren't very costly, just making you level up your Google presence. That alone, I have somebody who did a few small tweaks after listening to a training of ours that has gotten probably 10 leads in the last 3 months, and she hasn't spent a penny. It was just a
Yeah.
few small optimizations that can make a big difference.
Yeah. And the biggest thing too is when you do the online success review, if you have a virtual assistant, whether it's in the States, the Philippines, whoever, bring them on the call, right? This
Yeah.
is not exclusive to you. If you have a team, bring your team on the call and
Yeah.
you guys can have that conversation with Jeff. So everybody kind of knows the role that they're going to take in implementing the plan. And
Yeah.
also too, keep this in mind, everything that we build from a website point of view is what we call agent owned, which means it's yours. You're not going to be held hostage by us. It's your domain that you purchase.
Yep.
It's your login information. We'll go in and we'll host it, we'll manage it, and we'll keep it all up to date. But if you ever decide to, and Cari's going to say, don't say this, but if you ever decide to go out and open up your own brokerage, right, do your own thing, then it can go with you, right? Because it's agent owned. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have learned as a team over the years, as Jason mentioned, hey, we knew each other back in the KW days, and he's right. We did know each other back in the KW days. Things change. Well, everything that we build, it's agent owned. So it can go with you wherever you decide to go, whether it's EXP and you stay there forever or something else. Like I had one guy in my class. I was doing a class for a local broker in North Texas, and Tom May was in there, and Tom was a Remax agent the week before, and he's waving at me in the class. I'm like, what are you doing? You're in the wrong room. What happened? He goes, we just changed. He goes, I talked to Jordan from your team yesterday and we got everything updated. Site's already updated. I love it. It's awesome. That's the thing, is it's agent owned. It can go with you. And that's I think a big plus.
Yeah, that is a big plus, because that's the same difference with all of your CRMs. If you're using it here, it's not our CRM, it's a third party, so you can take it with you. You don't have to worry about that if you ever make a change. And I love all of that. For entrepreneurs, we need to just be in control of our destinies for sure. So really good stuff. Go to michaeltritthart.com for some more information. If you guys want to do that $99 online success review, probably a good idea. I put a couple takeaways in here. Terry, really quick question.
Yeah, just real quick. So if you're in Google Suites and you work with them, does that work with the websites and different things like that as well?
It does. It does. We can, pretty much everything that we can do from a website point of view is going to be applicable, and Google Suites definitely can help for sure.
Perfect. Awesome. Cool. And don't forget to go to the list of all of those websites, that free list that of things that Michael said, sites for your business, the lead capture, the Google, the hardware, the software. I was just looking at that, and it's quite comprehensive. You guys take a peek at some of those things. I think if nothing else, literally this list right here is extremely valuable and a good takeaway from today's call. So if you have any questions, let me know. Michael's going to send some stuff to me. I will post it in EXP Family Tree underneath the live stream, so you can grab those things as well. And thanks to you guys for being here. Michael, as always, thanks for sharing your tips and strategies. You guys take one idea and go run with it for the new year, so that you can get into some execution. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Anything we can do to help you guys, even if you just have questions, reach out to us, michaeltritthart.com. We're more than happy to help you with any of your questions. Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Thanks, Cari. See you soon. Bye.